Hello and thank you for joining me today. My name's Angela and this is Angela's Craft Hat. Recently I ran a workshop online for my teams that we can't actually meet together at the moment still, and we made these cards. This was my original one, made up with the different flowers, and this was the one that I was working on whilst we were in the workshop, and I've had it tied so it folds a different way, just to give you a different example. But then once opened, it will still open, sharing these lovely stamps. So this one is with is with Janet Klein stamps from All and Create, and the other book is using Tracy Evans stamps with All and Create. Now today I'm going to show you how to put the book together. On the live workshop session we went through a number of different parts, so we actually were colouring some of these elements and we put it all together. And so you don't have to play the whole 2 hours, I'm going to put together a sample card using coloured paper, where I've used the pattern paper and plain white toppers, just so that everyone gets an idea of how the card went together. So this card I've seen called a number of different things. I think the one I stick to is the mini card topper card, which is kind of a lot of cards there, but that's the name that I've seen it. So to start with, and I've used centimetres, is that I've started with a 25.1 centimetre long piece of card, which is 14.8 centimetres this way. So 25.1 centimetre that way and 14.8 this way, and the 0.1 is quite important. I've scored at 10.5 from one end, 10.5 centimetres from one end and 4 centimetres from the other. I also have a little piece for the topper card, which is 15 centimetres by 7.5 centimetres and is scored at 7.5 centimetres. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold these up and then score. So just get that square. There we go. And then I'm just going to fold this one up as well. And then this one. So fold it this way first. And then as you can see, you have just a little gap here, it's only 1 millimetre, that allows that to fold a little bit flatter. It is quite bulky when it's finished, and the ribbon or the baker's twine keeps it flat. You can also put it under a heavy book if you want it even flatter. So that's the base then. So that's our card. That's our card front, which will look this way when we're working with it. And then this is our topper card, which will sit this way and will open the opposite way to how we would normally open a card. So that one opens as you're looking at it from your left to the right, and then once we open that one, it then opens back up. And this card, this part of the card here, is the standard A6 card size, so 1/4 of an A4, although it's obviously using more than that, but the actual finished size is the A6, which is the standard size card using A4 paper. Okay, so the bits that we then need to decorate it with are some designer paper or pattern paper, and you can see here I've used the same on the front here, and then chosen different patterns for these areas and then different patterns again for these areas. It was double-sided in a pad, so you could switch them around. Obviously if you want to use the same pattern paper throughout, then that's great. You can just use coloured card if you didn't want to use any pattern paper at all. But that's what we're doing. So these are the bits that we're looking at now. So for the, just bringing in my notes there. So for the front, I'm going to keep it so that it will be the same colour. And I'm going to put the blue paper like that. And then on the inside, we're going to decorate it, these three, and I'm going to keep them as different colours, just so you can see where I've used the different paper. Now this part of the card is wider than this part of the card by 1 millimetre. So this piece of the card I've cut to 10.1 by 14.4, and this piece here is 10.2 by 14.4, and because this is a fraction wider, I tend to write on the back middle, just so I know that it is going in this part here. I'll just name that as the middle one. So they would be glued there, and then this piece, move that way, this piece that sits here is 3.6 centimetres by 14.4. So I'm just going to quickly glue them in place, just so we can put the card together. Okay, I hope you're all well as you're watching this, and it's very strange times that we're living in at the moment. We're missing out workshops, as I mentioned earlier, because we can't meet up yet, and we're all looking forward to doing that. So it's quite amazing that if you're at home, because you're using stamps that you've already got in stock, we're not using new stamps at the moment, then what the teams, or the group should I say, that are joining me on these live sessions are coming up with the most amazing cards, using all the different stamps that they've got at home, be it stuff they've got in their stash that they haven't used for a while, or even the magazine stamps that they may not have used yet, or again haven't used for a while. I'm just going to turn this around so I can see this better from my angle. And so we're getting very different ideas. Flowers, gnomes, African scenes, cards specifically tailored for the men in their lives. All sorts of things. Japan, we've been to Japan as well as Africa. It truly is incredible. So these are going on the front, and these again, this one is 10.1 wide by 14.4, and then this one for this piece is again 3.6 by 14.4. I just cut it so that it was 4 millimeters shorter than the actual areas, giving us a 2 millimeter gauge around. What I will try and do is, convert this to inches. So it may not be an exact changeover, if you like. So it might be slightly bigger or slightly smaller in the inches, so that it makes it easier to work with. So that's the way we do the toppers on the base card. Okay, so we've got the 3 colours there, and then I'm just keeping this so it's flat, so it's the same blue on either side. Then if we bring in our smaller card, bearing in mind it opens this way, so for you it opens this way up, so you're going from the left to the right, so open it the other way around. That won't matter if you've got multi-directional papers. If you have papers that do have a pattern on it that looks better one way than the other, then that's something to bear in mind, that when you work with it. So I'm going to turn this around so it's easier for me to work with facing wise, and we're going to have a look at the different colours. So this time I just thought we'd go with the green on the top, just to make a change, and that way it also keeps the different papers inside as well, and I'll show you what I mean when I do that in a second. Now these papers have been cut, so they are 7.1 centimetres square. So we go in there, and we go in here as well. Any kind of stamp will go with these, completely up to you. And they work for all types, children, teens. Everything. They work for everything, and it'll be lovely as a wedding one as well. So you can make it like a little book. You could even, instead of using stamps to decorate it, it could be photographs. So you could be putting together like a little photograph album for somebody that you write into it as well. So it could be a treasured memory that way. This part of the card will fit like this on the card. So if I turn it so it's facing your way. So you see, this is how it will sit, and it will open this way, and it will then open this way. So this part needs decorating. Depending on your paper and the GSM of your paper, so its weight, if it's thin enough, then you could put, or you can put all of the paper on and then stick it on. Or if you're using slightly thicker patterned paper, you might want to wait so that you glue this in place first, and then you measure this. So it'll be 7.1 this way, but then it'll be this width minus the 4 millimeters, so you still get the 2 millimeters either side. So that's entirely up to you. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to glue the whole lot on. If it's out your way. I find that using wet glue when I get it out, me glue, come on, is probably easier, because it does give you that little bit of wiggle room as you're trying to centre it into the measurements. There we go. And by using blue on that one, when we open the card up, you can see that we've got different colours representing the different patterned paper, should you want to go that way. So once we have our papers on and we have all our toppers ready decorated, we'll then actually gluing them in place. So again, we have 3 larger pieces for the front and the 2 areas here. So we've got 3 cards to go on the front and in these 2 sections here, and then we have 3 little ones to go onto our mini topper. So we'll have a look at them. These pieces here are cut 13.4 by 9.1. So 9.1, 13.4 here, and the same here, and then this one will go 9.2. So again, on that piece of paper, which is slightly smaller, I've actually just written middle. So I've written middle on it just to remind me which one does go into the middle. And if you do that before you stamp, you can decide which way you're going to lay out your stamps, or if you're using photographs or anything like that. So I just find it easier to do it that way. So we're going to come on, glue. Always worry when I see people shaking it like that over the card. It's all going to come out in one splat. Now these pieces of card can be cut smaller or wider. If you only want a 2 millimeter mat around the edge, then you can cut them wider. If you want to have more of your card showing, your paper should I say, sorry. So we wanted more of this coloured card representing the patterned paper showing, then we'll cut these smaller, and it's up to you to what size you want to do these. As I said, I've brought it in a whole centimetre smaller than the coloured card. But you could go even further if that's what you'd prefer to do. And then I'll just lay this one on here. looks like I'm going to have to get some new glue out by the... So what have we got here? Let's try this one. Oh, that's not going to work either. Okay, let's try this one. There we go. So we pop that one there. And line up that. And then we come on to our card. Now we don't do this one. This is the top, the one that shows when it's closed, and that's the last one we put on. So we do the two in the middle first. I'll show you why the other one's the last one on. Oop. Come on. Okay, finally got some out of this one. Typical. Just get that centered. And we can do this one here. And then we can put this one in place, so we can glue this in place, deciding upon where you want it, how high up you want it, how low you want it. I'm going to go for roughly the middle, and then we just glue up the piece that's being attached. Okay, just leave that bit up there, like that. And then we can do like that. And therefore we've got it now glued. So this is how it will look to you. So open this way. There's glue everywhere now. And then open up that way. And to help keep it closed, I'm just going to add some baker's twine, and then this is what goes, this is why you don't do this one till the last, because this is the bit that holds the baker's twine in place. I'm just going to turn it round so I can get it in the right order. I'm going to have it tying this side now. Let's tie round. I glued it, so you just get this in place and decide where you want the twine. Again, you might want it in a higher or low or middle, whichever one you want. Put that in place, and then that will then tie this side. Tie your bow. There we go. And this can be anything again, ribbon, anything. And then that's how you would put the card together. So that's how I saw somebody do this on the internet, so I don't make claims that it's my design. But that's then is how we put this one together. So have it the right way for you. Oops, sorry. And then this is the other one that we did. I'll make a note in the comments area below the video of my blog, and I'll have all this written up in my blog as well, so you can have all the sizes. Okay, so I hope that helps you put something together in this form. You can use any topper that you like. Again, sorry if I hold it this way for you. So this is how we actually make up these kind of cards. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon.